So the thing is, today we will discuss the VPN. So in VPN, first question is, what is VPN? What is the use of VPN? Okay, so today we will discuss VPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Okay, we use this VPN technology to protect our communication happening with the branch offices. Okay, let's suppose we are having, this is our head office, this is our inside user network, this is our DMZ network, and these inside users want to communicate with our branch office users, this DMZ also, or vice versa, like branch office want to communicate with DMZ servers and inside users. So what happens if we send this traffic through without VPN, through that through internet? So the thing is, in internet there is a like attackers, because it's a like untrusted network. So maybe someone snap our traffic. Okay, someone like man in the middle, this is known as a man in the middle. Okay, what happens, he just capture all data. Maybe what he do, he just tamper this data. Maybe he remove something from that particular data, or maybe he add something in that data. That is like tampering. Let's suppose you are a banking organization. Okay, so this is a head office for a particular bank. This is a server. So where basically here you have all the user information. Okay, all the transaction details and all. Let's suppose this is your branch office. Anyone from like branch manager, okay, or like cashier guys. So what happens, they fetch the users money and all from this server only all the time. Okay, so the thing is that if they communicate through that internet, okay, without using any kind of VPN and all, so maybe when he sends some data, he just sends some request for a particular guy, and he just want to fetch all the information regarding this guy. So the thing is, when reply come, maybe someone is basically watching the traffic of this particular host, and after that when he got the request and reply, he just capture all the data by running. There is a lots of application, lots of tools is there in the market, so he can use any of these tools. He just got that details also, these particular user details. Okay, after that maybe he can misuse this information, he can do anything with this. Okay, so providing these kind of, so the thing is, for avoiding these kind of problems, we use a VPN. So what happens in case of VPN? The communication which is happening through this guy to this guy, from inside to branch, from head office to branch office. So the thing is, that communication is encrypted and hashed between these two peers. Okay. So this traffic is encrypted and hashed. I will tell you what is the encryption and what is the hash. Okay. So the thing is, encryption means, let's suppose you are going to send ABC. Okay, I'm just taking one example. So in place of ABC, you are sending some this value. Okay, like this one. In place of ABC, you are sending this value. This means A, this means B, and this means C. It's a like encryption. This is actual data, this is encrypted data. Means now if there is any man in the middle, okay, if someone sniffing your traffic or someone watching your traffic, if he got this thing, he is not able to understand what you are going to send, right? Because we have changed. So the thing is, this is known as actual data and this is known as cipher. Okay, after encryption which we got, this is known as a cipher. So what happened, like that thing basically used by in Second World War. Okay, when the German submarines communicate with each other, they have sent these encrypted data. Okay, or encrypted and hashed data. They use MD5 that time for hashing. So the thing is, what happens, encryption. So what happens in encryption, we have these algorithm for encrypting these data 3 dash dash and AES. We have some flavors in AES like AES 128, AES 256, AES 1, simple AES. Okay, so you know now encryption. In encryption, what happens? We just change our data into some different format. Okay, so that is the encryption, and these are the main algorithm for encryption. Okay, so now you are clear with the encryption. Or so encryption, let's suppose the thing is, if you are going to send some banking information like your name, bank account, transaction details and all. Okay, so what happens after encryption? That will change into some other format like here A B C, any kind of format. Okay, A B C X Y Z 1 2 3 in this way. The thing is, if someone basically, if someone snip this data or he just collect this data and he are going to analyze, he is not able to find out the actual data, actual name and all these details, because it is now encrypted. So the thing is, encryption provides the confidentiality. Okay, because the thing is, we use VPN for getting these three things. CIA. C for confidentiality. Confidentiality means if we are sending anything through that VPN tunnel, it is not able, like if someone basically hijack our session, or someone is somehow he just got our data, that is like in encrypted format, so he is not able to find out the actual data. Okay, this provides, so the thing is, encryption provides the confidentiality. After that, we have a integrity. Integrity means, let's suppose you are going to send some data, okay, without VPN. What happens? Here is some man in the middle. What he do? He just adds some content, like you are going to send ABC. He just adds something ABCD. Okay, maybe he just removes something, like he removed B. Now A and C only going. Okay, now maybe he is not doing anything. Okay, so the thing is, if he do anything, like he just adds something, adding or removing means it's like tampering. It is known as tampering. Means now the thing is, someone tampering our data. So when this actual guy receive this particular tampered data, so it's not like actual data. Let's suppose I'm taking one more example. Let's suppose that guy sending around 100 USD to this guy. There is a one man in the middle. Okay, so he just changed this 100 USD into 10 USD. Okay, so that is known as tampering of data. So the thing is, how basically we can prevent this kind of problems by using hashing. Okay, by using hashing. So we have some hashing algorithm, right? MD5, SHA-1, SHA-128 and SHA-256. Okay, these are the some hashing algorithms. Okay, so the thing is, we can get the integrity by using hashing. We get the confidentiality by encryption. Okay, there's now the thing is, authentication is remaining. So I will tell you the authentication later. Let me now take one more example for these things. So let's suppose you are going to send one message. Okay, let's suppose this guy try to send some message to this guy, like he just sending the meeting invite, like So he just that meeting invite, he just mentioned the time 6:30 a.m. Okay, and he just sent this message to this guy. Okay, now what happened? We are not using any kind of VPN here. So the thing is, if someone basically just hijack your session, and what he do, he just change the meeting time, like he just do this thing 6:30 p.m. and the thing, he just changed the format of this data. Okay, and he just forward this traffic towards this guy. Maybe this is a like attacker. Okay, so it's that is the like thing which can happen without VPN. Okay, now let me include that VPN thing here. Okay, so what happens, we are using VPN here. What happens, this 6:30, that meeting invite, after encryption, like becomes something like this. It becomes something like this: A1 5 X Z B E has a strict. Okay, so this 6:30 a.m. become this thing. Okay, and what happened now? So this is a like encryption. He just by encryption, that 6:30 a.m. become this thing after we apply one hash on that value, that thing. Okay, so in when we apply any, when we basically run that hashing, okay, on this, so the thing is, we always run the hashing on encrypted data. Remember this thing, because people ask in interviews, like first encryption happen or hashing happen on VPN, on a IPsec side to side VPN. Okay, so you just remember, first encryption after hashing. So the thing is, when we have run this hashing value, there is a some hash value is created. Let's suppose this is a hash value 1 2 3 A B C. Okay, this is like fixed value for this, for particular data. Like for this data, this is a hash value. If we change anything, like if that X becomes Z or anything, that hash value changed. Okay, so for particular data we are having particular hash value. What happens when this traffic reach there to this firewall? Okay, what happens now? Here decryption happens. Here we do encryption, and here we are doing decryption. Decryption means we just decrypt this data. Okay, so after decryption, this encrypted data become 6:30 a.m. and the thing is, when he received this encrypted data, this guy, because this guy do the encryption and hashing, right, and he just put this hash value also in this particular traffic. So when he receives, this firewall received this data, so basically he also run the hashing. Okay, and the thing is, if he got the same hash value, which is this, like same hash value, that means our data is clear, there is no any tampering happening with this data. Then only he just accept this data. Okay, so the thing is, when we, so after that he get the actual data, he will just forward now that actual data into the branch of his user, that particular user. Okay, so now you are like okay with encryption and hashing. What is encryption, what is hashing? Okay, or you want like any, if you have any doubt on that, please ask me right away with the encryption and hashing. So actually otherwise I'll just move forward. Okay, so now I will tell you the,
Encryption and hashing are both same, right?
no, in encryption what happens, if you have some data, like you have anything, like you are sending this message, I am out. Okay, in WhatsApp also, there is a there is a VPN tunnel, but that tunnel is known as SSL tunnel. Okay, so the thing is, let's suppose you are going to send this message to this guy. Okay, so after encryption, this message become like something else.
Okay, it's a secure way of sending the data.
Yeah, anything. It become like anything. So the thing is, if somebody like capture your data, this one, he's not able to find out. You are going to write this message, I am out or something else. Okay, that is encryption. Means we are just changing the data into some other format. Okay, so the thing is, we after that when we do the encryption, okay, here we do the encryption. After we run the hash, okay, we run the hash on this part, this encrypted data, we just got a one particular value. Okay, here like
So then,
this is a like 64-bit value. It depends on which algo we are going to use. Okay, I will explain you. In case of MD5, it create a 164-bit hash value. Okay, so what happens in hash value? Basically, let's suppose it's not like that. It's like very huge encryption. Okay, it's a very huge data. Maybe it's a like MB's data and all. Okay, it's a very huge data, this one encrypted. So we run the hash value. So it's like one fixed value. Like if we got a 123, let's suppose you got a 123 only for this. This is like hashing. So what happens when this guy, the other firewall, receives this encrypted data? He do the decryption. Decryption means we are just here we done encryption, so we just change the format. Now from this format we are going to get the actual format. It's a decryption, right? So here he got that I am out, this data. Okay, after decryption. And he also
so
run that.
we are doing first encryption and then hashing, right?
Here we do first encryption and hashing. When he received this data, first he run the hash, after that he do the encryption, decryption. Okay,
Oh,
not encryption. Here he is doing decryption. Okay,
okay.
got it now? So in hash value, basically he matches the hash value at both end. Okay, he just can run that hash on this particular encrypted data, and he just match this hash value on both end. If he find out that this hash is like similar at both end, that means he just ensure there's a no tampering happening with the data. It's like integrity. Our data is secure now, like there is nothing change happening. Okay,
So both sides hashing should be same.
yes,
So 3DS.
yes, both side. We need to define that policy, same policy. I will tell you. Okay, I will tell you when I will explain that message exchange and all. Okay,
Thank you.
how that ASA agreed on these proposal and all. Okay,
Thank you.
so the thing is, in VPN we have a like two kind of VPN. First one is a site to site VPN. After that we have a remote access VPN. Okay, so the thing is, in site to site VPN, we are going to configure VPN between these networks. Okay, between head office network and branch office network. So the thing is, in case of site to site VPN, anyone can initiate that VPN connection, anyone from inside user, so anyone from branch office. Okay, anyone can initiate the data. In case of remote access VPN, these are like scenario. Let's suppose you are sitting in your home by using your system. Okay, and now the thing is, you want to connect with your office resources like office servers. So you just use the remote access VPN client, and after that you can just put your credential and all, and you got the access of this particular server. This is a remote access VPN. Means all the traveling kind of sales, like traveling salesmen, they are using that remote access VPN kind of things. All the remote users who is working from remote locations, they are also using remote access VPN only. All the which is doing work from home, they are also use that remote access VPN. Okay, like if I want to work from home, I'll use this client, this AnyConnect, to connecting with my office resources. Let's suppose if I want to connect with any location, I can connect like Singapore, St. Joe's, America, Bangalore, any locations. Okay, just guys hold on for 1 minute only. The recording. Okay, so we are having two kind of VPNs in ASA Firewall, remote access VPN. Okay, so what happens in remote access VPN? We have like two flavors. First one is SSL, second one is IPsec. Here also we use IPsec, but the thing is right now this is not using by the people. People use this SSL only, that AnyConnect. It is also known as a AnyConnect. Okay, remember this thing. So in our lab we do the lab on this IPsec site to site VPN. Okay, because for this SSL VPN we need a like license and all, and I am not having any license in my system, in my firewalls. Okay, so I will complete this lab. Okay, so now we have a two kind of VPN: IPsec site to site VPN and IPsec remote access VPN and SSL VPN or AnyConnect. Okay, so you can also like configure, like you can also take them as a like three kind of VPNs, but there is actual two kinds of VPN: IPsec site to site VPN and the AnyConnect. Because these VPN is no longer used by the peoples. Cisco also like stop supporting these VPN, these remote access VPN. Okay, so this is no longer exist now. Only this SSL VPN is exist. So SSL is also a kind of remote access VPN. So the thing is, for VPN we use some protocols. Okay, like first protocol is a ISACAMP. ISACAMP stands for Internet Security Association Key Management Protocol. Okay, Internet Security Association Key Management Protocol, ISACAMP. After that we also having IKE version 1 and IKE version 2. Okay, and there is a IPsec. So IPsec stands for IP security. IKE version 1, it's like Internet Key Exchange version 1, Internet Key Exchange version 2. So the thing is, use of this ISACAMP, it provides the framework. Okay, it provides framework or a background, okay, for exchanging different kind of parameters. Okay, because this ASA and this ASA exchange some parameters for forming the VPN tunnel. Okay, so the thing is, for that forming of that VPN tunnel, ISA can basically help us. Okay, that provides the full framework, how basically that peer 1, that ASA in head office and ASA in branch office exchange the parameters, how they agreed on the parameters. Okay, so that thing basically exchange through that by using this protocol only. IPsec is a lie, it provides the security to our data. The thing is, when we have set up that tunnel, okay, and tunnel is up and running, so if this guy want to send any traffic to this guy, or this guy want to send any traffic to this guy, this data basically, this for this data basically IPsec is responsible for providing the security. Okay, he just apply the encryption, he just apply the hashing algorithm on that particular data. Okay, so what happens now in VPN? We have two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is known as a ISACAMP. assay. Okay, so what happens in phase 1, ISACEMP assay is created, and in phase 2, IPSec assay is created. Remember this thing only for now. We have a 2 phases. So in first phase, ISACEMP assay is created, and in second phase, IPSec assay is created. Okay, now there is a, in phase 1, we are having 2 modes. Okay, first one is a main mode, and second one is a aggressive mode. Okay, so in main mode we have a 6 packets. In main mode we are having only 3 packet. So the thing is, when these peers ASA1 and ASA2 exchange this 6 messages, after that phase 1 is completed and ISACEMP assay or one ISACEMP tunnel is created. Okay, remember this thing. After phase 1, ISACEMP assay or ISACEMP tunnel is created. And if we are using aggressive mode, then there is only 3 packets. Also one more thing. This main mode we generally use in a site-to-site VPN. Okay, and this aggressive mode we use in a remote access VPN. Okay, just remember every point, because these are the interview questions. What are the modes which we have in phase 1? So when you tell these modes, so they will ask like how many packets they exchange in main mode and how many packets they exchange in aggressive mode. Okay, so now so first I will explain you that main mode. Okay, main mode. So let me open one notepad here. Okay, so main mode, let's suppose this is my ASA 1 and this is my ASA 2. Okay, they are connected through ISP. So in main mode, basically, let's suppose this is a like initiator, this is a responder. Initiator means who is like going to initiate that VPN tunnel. Responder means the thing the other guy respond on the initiator request. Okay, what happens in message number first? The main mode message number first is known as a MM1, send from ASA1 to ASA2. In this message, basically, they have put the initiator cookie. Okay, after they also exchange the haggle. Haggle stand for hashing mechanism. Okay, so in hashing mechanism we are having like MD5, SHA-1, SHA-128, right, and SHA-256. Okay, so the thing is, according to our configuration, basically he just send. So these are, so maybe in this haggle he is going to send this one or this one or this one. Okay, depends what we have configured. It's for authentication. Authentication means, I will tell you what is the meaning of authentication, okay, later. So just for now, you just remember they also extend the authentication. So we have two kind of authentication, okay. So here basically he's going to extend which kind of authentication we want. We want to use the pre-shared key or PKI. PKI is a public key infrastructure. So PKI stand, these are used for in case of certificates and all. Okay. G stand for group. Like group. So we have some group like 2, 1, 2, 5, etc. Okay, these are the some groups. So these groups basically used for Diffie-Hellman process. I will tell you what is Diffie-Hellman. It's Hegel. So here we have a L. After that, in L stand for lifetime. Okay, because it also, so default lifetime is a 86400, means this is in seconds, so it's like around 24 hours. They also extend the encryption method. Okay, in encryption method, so you have like, we have dash, sorry, 3 dash dash and AES. Okay, so they exchange these messages to this guy. After that, that responder gives the CI and CR. These are like initiator cookie. This is a like responder cookie. Like if there is any kind of attacks going on. So for identifying that session information and all, they use this initiator cookie and the responder cookies. Okay. After that, he also send the Hegel. So what happens in Hegel? He just send the choose things, like maybe if we are like in this message, if we have like, we have sent this is this hashing algorithm. Okay, this is a like authentication method, this group, this is the lifetime, and maybe 3 days for encryption. Now he sent this thing, agreed thing. Okay, he just agreed on a hashing algorithm which is SHA-1, authentication which is a preset key. Okay, group which is a like 2, lifetime which is like 24 hours, and the encryption is this. He just send the agreed proposals. Okay, not proposal, it's like agreement. Okay, it is also known as agreement. This is a like MM2. This is a second message. Okay, so now you got the idea of message number 1 and message number 2. What is the use of message number 1 and 2, and why they exchange these messages? Okay, because the thing is, this guy now going to form a VPN tunnel. So they just agreed, right? What kind of encryption they want to use, what kind of hashing method they want to use, right? For basically, because in VPN we need these methods for encryption and hashing, right? So the thing, that's why they just exchange these two messages for getting the like which algorithm they are just going to agree. Okay. It's now the thing is, there is a message number 3 and 4 which is related to Diffie-Hellman. So first I will tell you the Diffie-Hellman. After that I will again like come back with this. Okay. Diffie-Hellman also known as a DH. Okay, DH is Diffie-Hellman. So Diffie-Hellman is having some like groups, like the group number 2, 5, 1. There's a like 19, 14, something like this. Okay, so we usually use this 2 or 5. So the thing is, key size of in 2 is like this 1024 bytes, and in 5 basically it's around 1534 something like this. Okay, I actually forget that actual number for that. So what happens? What is the use case of Diffie Hellman? So the purpose of Diffie Hellman is to create the keys, to create the session keys, because when this ASA firewall and this ASA firewall decrypt the communication which is going through these users like PC1 and here PC2. Okay, now what happens? If they are like these users are going to communicate. The thing is, for encrypting that communication and for hashing that particular communication, they need a keys, right, to do the encryption and to do the hashing. Okay, and also the thing is, this guy also needs the same key. This guy also needs the same key, right? Because when he encrypts something by using this key, he also need that same key to do the decryption. Okay, so that kind of things also known as a symmetric encryption. Symmetric encryption means we are using same key for doing the encryption and same key for doing the decryption. Okay, so now you got the idea of Diffie-Hellman. We use the process of Diffie-Hellman is to create the keys. Okay, so are you clear with the Diffie-Hellman now? Or anyone, if you have any question, just ask me, because there is a lots of things also in Diffie-Hellman. I'm not going to in much depth. Okay, because here basically also they create around 3 kinds of keys. Okay, it's like very lengthy process. I am not going to do, because they use some kind of algorithm. Okay, because the thing is, every ASA firewall, like this firewall and this firewall, they are having some one public key and one private key. This one also having public key and private key. So they exchange in the Diffie-Hellman process. They exchange this public key. He sent his public key and this guy sent his public key. After that, there is a like for this group 2, we have some value G equals to, I hope, 5 and P equals to 17. Okay, after that, they just generate this key by using these public key and all. Okay, so the thing is, they have some algorithm, like if they want to generate this key which is known as X. So the thing is, X equals to, we are having something like G raised to the power this private key. Okay, private of, like, this is a ASA, this is a ASAB, so private of A, and after mod P. And he also like do the same thing. Let's suppose his key is a Y. Okay, so Y equals to G raised to the power private of A and mod P. Here basically private of B for X, for this key, for this key of this guy, and key of this guy is Y. Okay, so the thing is, when they calculate these X and Y, these value is same, X equals to Y. Okay, you wanna see this thing, this is similar or not, I can show you, but it's like, it's now gonna very depth. If you want to see, I can just open my KLC, I can just calculate these values as well. Okay, so like, this is a Diffie-Hellman process, this is a ASA1 or ASA A, okay, and this is a ASAB. So this guy also having that public key and private key. Okay, that public key and private key is a very big key. Like this, it's a like very big value. Okay, So for example, let me take very small value here. So let's suppose I am taking here, like this is a like 3, any random value, okay, and this is a like public of B, which is any random value 7, okay, and this is a like private of B. Let's suppose this is around 4, okay, and this is around 7, okay, anything, because these are the random values, or 8. We are not aware about these values as well. Okay, so this guy exchange his public key, like public of A to this guy. This guy exchange his public key with this guy. After they just calculate that key, okay, the actual key, by using, let's suppose for ASA key is X and for ASAB key is Y. So let me open that KLC. I will show you the value. Okay. So first let me write that formula. X equals to, and the thing is they are using that group 2. Okay. Group is 2. So the G value for group 2 is 5 and P value is 17. Same here. G equals to 5 and P equals to 70. These values like fixed for this particular group. Okay. So like X equals to X equals to G equals to 5, G की power. So we are having that power or not here. No. Actually, my calculator, this is not actual one. So let me open the scientific one. So 5, there is a something power. I am having mod value here, but I am not having any power thing. ln decimal. Okay, actually I'm not having here power, that's why. Otherwise, if we calculate this value, definitely that value is similar, both end. Okay. I have not used this thing previously, but that is the like similar thing. We have mod value here. So let's leave it. Okay, it's similar. Okay, just if you want to run it at your end, you can. So the thing is, when they have created this value, so they use these keys, okay, X and Y, for encrypting the other messages. Okay, like this is a message number 3, this is a message number 4. Okay, so the purpose of this message 3 and 4, these are like, this is also known as the FALN process, and they create that keys, okay, X and Y keys. After that, till message number 4, that data go in a clear text form. It is not encrypted and hashed. After that, any message which is going through this tunnel, okay, this BPN tunnel, everything is go with the encrypted and hashed, because they have keys, so they use this key, these both keys, for doing the encryption and hashing. Okay, just remember this thing, because the thing is, there is also some more thing is there. Okay, it's not actual key which they use for encryption and hashing. There's around 3 kinds of keys also there. Okay, these keys are like SKID E, SKID D, SKID A. Okay, so I am not going to in that much depth now. So the thing is, now you got the idea, like message number 4, message number 3 and 4. After they exchange the message number 5 and 6. Okay, so purpose of this message is 5 and the purpose of this message number 5 and 6 is to authenticate each other. Authentication means, what do you mean authentication? Authentication means this guy is communicating with the right peer or not. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Like when you log into your bank accounts, right? That time you put the username, password and OTP. If you put all these three things correctly, then only you got the login of your banking sites. Okay, your banking account. So the thing is, they are asking that thing for authentication. Okay, now the thing is, you are just you are just doing the authentication there. Okay, means if you are putting that you are communicating with the right server or not, and they are also like making sure you are the right guy or not. Okay, if you are the right guy, you just put that right credentials, right? That is the authentication. Okay, so same thing in VPN also happening. Like this user ASA1 and this one ASA2. Basically, they are exchanging that parameter with the right pair or not. So now the thing is message number 5 and 6, they just authenticate each other. Okay, so that is the main mode. So it's a main mode. Now let me explain you that aggressive mode very quickly. ASA1 and ASA2. What happens in aggressive mode? There is only 3 packets: first, second, and third. So in this first package, they just put this thing CI and Haggle in the pre-shared key. Okay, same thing here, like CI, CR, Haggle, and pre-shared key. Okay, and the thing is, after it only this message is hashed. Okay, this message has, if you know, like in main mode, in message number 5, in message number 6. Okay, they also have exchanged this pre-shared key. Okay, they exchange this pre-shared key in message number 5 and 6. So what happens now in this aggressive mode? They are exchanging this pre-shared key in message number 1 and 2 only. Okay, mm1, mm2, and mm3. So in message number first and second, the thing you know that like this message number 1 and 2 is not encrypted and hashed, right? So the thing is, anyone can see your preset key. That's why this is not like this is aggressive mode is not secure. Main mode is secure. You can, if like people ask that question, like main mode is a secure and aggressive mode is not a secure. Can you explain me how? So that is the like way they exchange that in main mode. They exchange preset key in message number 1 and 2, so anyone can see that because that is not encrypted and hashed. But the thing is, in main mode, basically that preset key they exchange in message number 5 and 6. The thing is, message number 5 and 6 like that they are encrypted and hashed. Okay, so this is like phase 1 in our IPsec VPN. Okay, now we are also having phase 2. Phase 2 also known as a quick mode. Okay, this is also known as a quick mode. So what happens in VPN? We need to define the traffic which we are going to encrypt and hash when they communicate. Okay, because the thing is, maybe this inside is also send some traffic towards the internet. Maybe here we have some servers, right? So when the traffic going to these servers, we don't want any kind of encryption for that. Like maybe it's like Facebook, okay, or any server, like maybe any college website, anything. That we want only the communication which is going from inside to our branch of means between these two networks, 10.1.1.0 and 20.1.1.0. We want only that traffic to be encrypted. So the thing is, for that we also need to define that traffic into ACL. That ACL known as a crypto ACL, or it is also known as a like traffic selector. Okay, so if we are going to write the crypto ACL on this file, so this is a like source and this is a destination. When we write the ACL on this firewall, so this becomes source and this become destination. So these are the like mirror image. These ACLs are the mirror image of each other. Okay. And also one more thing, as they exchange that thing, as they exchange the haggle in main mode, like encryption and hashing mechanism in main mode. So the thing is, they also exchange that encryption and hashing again into phase 2 or in quick mode. The thing is these actual algorithms they action in phase 2, they use for encryption and hashing. The hashing are actual data, okay, which they have exchanged in that phase 2. These are the actual encryption and hashing algorithm which they use for encrypting and hashing are actual data, okay. And the thing is, this encryption and hashing they exchange in phase 1. Only this used for encrypting the message number 5, message number 6, message number 7, message number 8, and message number 9. Because in quick mode we have 3 messages. Okay. So let me explain these messages. So like it's some message number 7. So in this message basically they exchange that same encryption hashing method and that ACL, crypto ACL. Okay. And there is one more thing, we have 2 modes in, like the thing is we have 2 modes, okay, in phase 2. That phase 2 is known as a quick mode, but the thing is we have 2 tunnel modes in phase 2. Okay, so first mode is known as a tunnel mode, and second one is known as a transport mode. Okay, so we have 2 tunnel mode and transport mode as well in phase 2. Okay, and also we use 2 protocols in phase 2, which is ESP and AH. So ESP is a protocol which ESP provides encryption and hashing both. AH provide only hashing. Okay, so we use always ESP. So they also exchange like which protocol they want to use. So they exchange like ESP here because we use always ESP here. Okay, this is a message number 8. This is coming from this branch office firewall towards the head office. Agreed, like he agreed on dash 3 on 3 dash on SHA 1 ACL. Okay, he just sent his crypto ACL and the ESP protocols. Okay, and also he also extend that mode. They want to use which mode? Tunnel. By default mode is a tunnel mode. Okay, so always people use only tunnel mode. After that, there is a like ACK. ACK means now they are going to start that. Now they have completed the exchange and then MVP internal is created, and they also have created that ISACAMP assay and IPsec assay. So when phase 2 complete, that time IPsec assay is created. So here basically two assays created. Okay, one for encryption and another for decryption. Remember one thing, one for encrypting that traffic and other one for decrypting that traffic. After phase 1, so these are like after phase 2. After phase 1, there is a one ISACMP assay is created. It's like bidirectional, and these are the like unidirectional assays. IPsec assays are the unidirectional, and these are the bidirectional, means in both directions. They are unidirectional. Like we have separate for encryption and separate for decryption. Okay, so this is the theory in VPN, and tomorrow we will have actual configuration. So when I'll configure the things, that time I will mention like this. This is the things. These are the policies. This is the haggle. Okay, I will explain you everything tomorrow as well. I also include the most of the things tomorrow as well. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So we can provide VPN by using only phase 1, or we have to use both
No.
phase 1 and phase 2?
No, we need to both. Okay, we need to both, because the thing is, these phase 1 and phase 2 basically provide a framework. Okay, how they are.
What is framework? I mean,
framework means some background, like some background, like they exchange lots of parameters and all for securing our actual data. Okay, because our objective is to secure our actual communication, which is going from our branch office users and from head office users and head office DMZ server, right? So the thing is, they have exchanged some kind of parameter, some kind of keys and all. Okay, after that, after completion of these exchange, like that ISACMP exchange, these are like 9 packet exchange. When they have completed this exchange, after that only they will start that actual data. They start encrypting and hashing that actual data, actual communication. Okay,
so in phase 1 we use the encryption, right? Encryption and decryption both.
in phase 1, the thing is message number 5 and 6. Okay, these are encrypted and hashed. Till message number 4, everything go in a clear text. After that, everything will encrypted, like message number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything is encrypted. You can't see what kind of things they are exchanging and they are sending. You are not able to see because it is encrypted. Okay, and also hashed.
So okay, little bit confused. Okay.
Okay, any other question? Man, ask me right now. Okay, because it's like VPN is a very complex topic as well, and if I start teaching that full VPN, it takes 1 month, 1 month at the 20 classes.